What's up, guys? It's your boy Darkskin, and today we're going to be going over our Claudia guide. Now, I know I took a little bit more time to make this video, and the reason why is because unlike Claudia, with Frigg, I literally was just walking around with her the entire time, all day, every day. So I got a really good feel for her a lot faster. With Claudia, it wasn't as fast. I had to make sure I did a little bit more research and things like that. So it took a little bit longer just so I could make sure I had enough information on everything that I want to talk to you guys about with Claudia. Now, some of you guys are going to be disappointed because Claudia is not who a lot of people thought she was. First and foremost, Claudia is primarily a support. She's not really meant to be on the field. She kind of just does her abilities and switches out. So, up front, I'm going to tell you that's just what she does, right? I know a lot of people going from Frigg to Claudia were expecting Claudia to perform just like Frigg did. With Frigg, you're on the field, you're doing your dash attacks, you're always on the field. Claudia is not the same type of character. So, anyways, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into her teams. So, the best team Claudia can have right now is herself and Shiro plus a third. Now, the third can realistically be anybody, depending on who you want, right? I opted for Huma simply because Shiro on cooldown doesn't really do any shatter, and I could just switch to Huma to get some shatter in, and then Claudia on cooldown doesn't really give any energy, so I could also switch to Huma to get energy as well. Not to mention I literally have her C4. So good shatter here anytime I need some more shatter, I have Huma, and then good charge here anytime I need some more charge, Huma here. Not to mention I already had her built, so she was the obvious choice for me. Now this team is still incomplete. We won't really have a very full solid team until we get units like Lyra and then eventually units like Lynn. Mark generally went on the physical team, but since Mark most likely will not be coming to the game, we can't put him on the team. Not to mention on CN, Mark came super early, so you were able to make this team a lot earlier. But like I said, without Mark coming to the game and then we don't have Lynn or Lyra, the team for the most part is going to be incomplete. But it still works perfectly fine, right? Shiro does really well. Shiro was one of the units that got buffed on Global, and she didn't really have a team, so she kind of didn't really do anything. But now that she has a team, or is starting to have a team, she's going to be working a lot better. So, especially if you get the dupes into her, you see I have mine C3, and then, you keep going, you get more dupes. She's going to become a lot better and better as you get those dupes. But anyways, this is the best team for her, which is Claudia, Shiro, and then +1. Like I said, I went with Huma, and I've already told you why. But anyways, that is the best team I see for her as far as right now. Pretty much just the only team for her. But yeah, there you go. Now that we talked about that, let's go ahead and get into the matrices. Now, I do want to specify, well, I already told you guys that she is a support. So with her being a support, the matrices that you would run on her are not near as important as the matrices you would run on, let's say, your DPS, because Claudia is not going to be the DPS when it comes to this team. First thing I want to talk about is Claudia's matrices. Claudia's two-piece is very, very bad. It's just not good. Increased damage by 13% when hitting a target in midair or initiating an aerial attack. Reset double jump upon hitting the target in the air. This is just very, very not good. Four-piece is not that bad, but you need the two-piece to get the four-piece. Hitting an enemy reduces the cooldowns of all weapon skills by 1.5 seconds and increase the damage of discharge skills by 58% for 15 seconds. So it's like, this is not that bad, but the two-piece is just not good at all. Now I'm going to tell you up front about Claudia. Realistically, you can really run anything on Claudia, and the reason why I say that is because Claudia is not going to be the primary focus of her team, right? The primary focus is going to be your damage dealer, which right now would be Shiro and or Huma or whoever you're running, and then eventually Lyra. So as far as right now, it doesn't really necessarily matter what you run, but if you're looking to run things, if you have two-piece zero laying around, this is going to be pretty decent for survivability, and it's going to allow you to you know, get a shield for your team, because you will be using Claudia's discharge quite a lot. But one of the go-tos would be two-piece Shiro, which is going to give you extra damage and shatter to targets above 50%, which is, you know, Claudia is not your primary shatter, but she will be hitting units with shields. That's just how she works, because you are going to use her discharge into her skill and then switch off. So there are going to be times where she is doing that. So this is going to be nice. And then you can go for like two-piece Crow, which is going to give you increased crit damage to targets less than 50% or 60% HP. So two-piece Crow, two-piece Shiro is going to be really good on her. I mean, you can run two-piece Samir if you want to. Just keep in mind, you do want to have generally two-piece Samir, two-piece Crow in your DPS. So anything after that is up to you, debatable, right? Now that we're done talking about matrices, let's go ahead and talk about the Simulacrum traits. Now, there are a couple of traits that could work or potentially be good. The first one, which is the best option, is just going to be Samir. Samir's trait is just absolutely insane, gives a lot of damage. This is a universal trait for every single character in the game. Just any character can use this. Really, really good. Now, I know a lot of people have been wanting to know, you know, hey, is Shiro's good? You know, and it says Shiro, but it's anybody. When anyone uses a weapon skill / discharge skill, increase all kinds of attack by 16% and physical attack by an additional 10% for 8 seconds. Cooldown 16 seconds. This is not bad. It's decent, but there is a cooldown. So there's going to be a period or window where this is not active, right? Well, with Samir, it's always active, right? As soon as you enter combat, you already have max stacks. It's always active, non-stop activation, right? Samir's is also better than Frigg's. The only thing about Frigg's and why like a lot of people use Frigg's is because the utility of gaining hyper body and becoming immune to crowd control effects, right? You can't get knocked back, so Frigg can basically unlimited dash for free. So that's like why people do that. But Samir is just the best DPS passive in the game. So as far as Simulacrum traits go, that is the trait that you want to use. Now, moving on to relics. One of the main relics you want to run on this team is going to be Hologram Projector. And the reason why is because with Shiro, you can get like a double shatter going, and she's going to shred the enemy shields. Not to mention, if you're using Huma, that you can use the same thing. With Huma, let's say you have 2 units, right, or Hologram Projector, this move right here and this move right here are going to do insane amount of shatter to the enemy. Likewise, if you are using Hologram Projector with Shiro, you can do something like this. You guys will both drop these, and then whenever you do your dash attacks and get more in, they are just going to put more and more inside of it, and it's just going to do insane amount of shatter and damage. So Hologram Projector is going to be one of the go-tos for this team. On top of Hologram Projector, at that point, the other one is debatable to what you want. Like I said, Qant gives you increased damage once you get the 2nd star. It increases final damage by 20%, which is really nice. You can go with Space-Time Rift, which is going to group them up, and then and I know Shiro, it sucks them in, but Shiro's not the only person on the team. So, but anyways, this groups them up, and it gives increased damage with the 3-star. Mainly you want Hologram Projector on this team, generally. And then the other one is kind of debatable to what you want to bring with your units, right? But Qant, Hologram Projector are a pretty nice combination. So now that we talked about relics, let's get into the gameplay. Now that we're in Bygone, what you generally would want to do with this team is, if you're on Claudia, you can just go straight into your skin. And if you're off Claudia, what you would do is you would use Claudia's discharge, then you would go into her skill, and then after that you would switch to Shiro, go into her one, and do everything you need to do with her. And then after her one is up, you'll go into Huma, right? Do whatever you need to do as far as all of that. And then once you have your discharge back up, you'll go back into Claudia, go into her one, rinse, repeat. And the reason, now this is a really good rotation because Shiro's not going to generate that much energy. So basically, you'll discharge with Claudia, switch to Shiro. Shiro's gonna do her charge or whatever the case may be, or skill, and then you'll switch to Huma. When you switch to Huma, you will not have a discharge, or you shouldn't. And then after that, you'll build up your discharge again. You'll discharge with Claudia, rinse, repeat. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys so you guys can see exactly what I mean. Now, I'm probably not gonna beat this floor because I don't have any matrices on this team. So my team is gonna be a lot under leveled as far as, this goes. But anyways, like I said, you generally wanna do this. You can switch over, use your 3 if you want to. Go into your 1. Do everything you need to do there, and then you would switch over, go into your Huma, do whatever you need to do on Huma, go into your Claudia, go into your 1, and then if you have discharge here, you can use it, which is fine. Then go into your Huma and rinse, repeat, right? And like I said, you're going to be generating a lot of energy with Claudia and Huma on this team. 1, go into her. If she has her stuff up, use it. If she doesn't, go into Huma. Claudia. And then you have this right here, so you can go and use this one right here. Put them in there. And that is pretty much how you're going to be using this team over and over, right? It's just going to be cycling your team through and through. If you have a discharge, obviously you'll have to use it, but generally you don't want to be using Huma's discharge. So if you can use Shiro's, go ahead and use Shiro's. But yeah, that's pretty much how the team functions. Now, like I said, I'm probably not going to beat that stage because I have no matrices on this team, simply because I want to just showcase it for you guys and let you guys know how to use it. But yeah, you're going to be generating a lot of energy with Claudia, and you're going to be generating a lot of energy with Huma, but you're not going to be generating as much energy with Shiro. So if you are going Claudia into Shiro, and then after Shiro you go into Huma, you should be getting discharge on Claudia, discharge on Shiro, no discharge on Huma, which is perfectly fine, and then discharge on Claudia again once you're going through your rotations. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, comment down below, tell me what you guys think in the comment section. With that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.